Hello, good day. So ang pag-aaralan natin ngayon is all about the measures of central tendency. So meron tayong dalawang data. Yun yung ungrouped data and grouped data. Pero ngayon, ang pag-aaralan lang natin muna ay yung ungrouped data. Pag sinabi nating ungrouped data, ito yung mga raw data na hindi pa na-sort into categories or classification or hindi pa na-sort into group. Or ibig sabihin, wala muna siyang interval. Ngayon, so these are the learning competencies. So at the end of this video, you must be able to describe the measures of central tendency and compute or obtain the different measures of central tendency. So alamin muna natin ano nga ba ang central tendency. So the measures of central tendency is a statistical measure that determines a single value that accurately describes the center of the distribution and represents the entire distribution of scores. So, ang central tendency daw natin, ito yung measure na magbibigay sa atin ng isang value lang. At yung isang value na yon will describe the entire distribution. Okay? So, yung goal ng central tendency is alamin nga yung single value. Yung single value na yun is yung number. Kaya sabi natin kanina, yung number na yun will be the best representative, okay, sa entire set of data. So, by identifying the average score, pag sinabi nating average score, that is referring to the single value. Okay? The central tendency allows researchers to summarize. Okay, take note of that. To summarize and condense large set of data into single value. So, makikita ninyo madalas dito sa lesson natin na maraming mga raw data, maraming mga numbers. But by just identifying the single value or yung average score natin, masasummarize natin yung napakaraming data into just single value. Next, the central tendency then will serve as a descriptive statistic. Pag sinabi nating descriptive statistic, that is to describe or to present a data in a very simplified or in concise form. Okay? And lastly, posible rin na pwede nating i-compare yung dalawang set ng data using the measures of the central tendency or yung average score ng distribution natin. Okay? So ano nga ba yung mga measures of central tendency? Meron tayong tatlong measures and these are first the mean. Ito yung symbol natin ng mean. Okay? So we have the X bar. Next we have the median. So ang symbol naman niya is ito. Babasahin natin, the symbol is X tilde. And the last measure would be the mode. Ang mode natin has a symbol of this one. And then symbol is X hat. Now, alamin natin muna yung mean. Ano nga ba ang mean? The mean is the most commonly used measure of central tendency. So, madalas yan na ginagamit. Okay, so halimbawa, sa pagko-compute ng grade, okay, mean ang ginagamit doon. So, computation of the mean requires scores that are numerical values measured on an interval or ratio scale. So, alam na natin yung interval or ratio scale. So, mako-compute lang natin yung mean kapag ka numerical value siya na nasa interval or ratio scale. Next, the mean is obtained, okay, by computing the sum or total for the entire set of scores. So, makukuha natin yung mean kapag ka inad natin lahat ng numbers, saka natin in-divide by the number of scores. So, mamaya makikita ninyo kung paano nga ba ang pag-compute ng mean. Continuation, conceptually, the mean can also be defined as first, the mean is the amount that each individual receives when the total is divided equally among all n individuals. So alam natin yan, discuss natin just before this slide. Second, the mean is the balance point of the distribution because, bakit nga ba tinawag na balance point? It is because yung sum ng distances ng lahat below the mean, okay, below the mean is exactly equal, okay, exactly equal to the sum of the distances above the mean. So, kaya tinawag siyang balance point kasi binabalanse niya. Okay, binabalanse niya yung distribution below and above the mean. Now, let's proceed to this slide. Paano nababago yung mean ng isang distribution? So, ito yon. So, dahil ang mean natin, in-involve niya lahat ng score sa distribution. Pagka binago natin yung isang score or yung value ng isang score doon sa distribution, malamang mababago rin yung mean. Next, modifying a distribution by discarding scores or by adding new scores will usually change the value of the mean. So, totoo ito, kapag binawasan daw natin yung isang score doon sa distribution, mababago yung mean. Also, kapag dinagdagan natin ng panibagong score yung set ng data natin. Next, to determine how mean will be affected for any specific situation, you must consider first, how the number of scores is affected, and second, how the sum of the scores is affected. So, itong dalawang specific consideration natin ay dapat nating alalahanin bago tayo mag-compute ng mean. Okay? So, ilan nga ba yung scores na meron doon sa isang distribution? Kapag apektado yun, halimbawa, dinagdagan or binawasan, of course, magbabago rin yung mean. Yung second natin, how the sum of the scores is affected. Kapag binago o halimbawa, dinagdagan natin yung scores, syempre, mababago rin yung sum ng lahat ng mga scores doon sa distribution. The same also kapag binawasan natin yung mga scores, mababago rin yung sum niya. Okay? So, kapag merong apektado dito sa dalawang ito, of course, mababago rin yung mean. Maapektuhan rin yung mean ng distribution. So, ito yung formula natin ng mean. So, we have 2. Okay, ito yung weighted mean natin kapag meron tayong frequency. So, magagamit natin tong dalawang to in this tutorial. Una, find the mean score of the following sample data set. So, we have the scores of students in a given quiz. Okay, so these are the scores. So, how to get the mean? Of course, sabi natin kanina, we just have to add. Okay, this is the summation of x, meaning kunin natin yung sum ng lahat ng scores. So that is 1, okay, 1 plus 5 plus 7 plus 7 plus 6 plus 8, 10, 9, 5, 10 plus 8. Bakit 11 to? Because we have 11 data. Okay, or we have 11 students who took the quiz. So the sum of the scores is 76 and our number of scores is 11. So 76 divided by 11 will give us 6.9090 and yung convention natin the standard will be to the nearest hundreds. Okay, so the nearest hundred, so we have 6.91. Okay, so the mean then for the quiz of the students is 6.91. So paano naman kapag ganito yung given natin? Meron siyang frequency. So ang gagawin natin is to multiply each data in age to the frequency. to its corresponding frequency. So magdadagdag tayo ngayon ng another column which is fx. Okay? So ang gagawin natin, multiply 15 to 17. Okay? Ang number of frequency natin is 40. Okay? So ang ibig sabihin niyan dito sa frequency, 7 na katao ang may edad na 15. 12 na tao ang may edad na 16. Okay? Also the same to 14 and 7. Yan, pagka inad natin lahat ng frequency, ito na yung lahat ng tao na na-survey. We have 40. So ito yung magiging 40 natin. So you just have to multiply 15 and 7, so that's 105. 16 times 12, 192. 17 times 14, that's 238. 18 times 7, we have 126. Since we have a summation here for fx, so i-add natin lahat ng data natin dito sa column na to. Okay? So the sum of these four data would be 661. Now, to compute for the mean, you just have to change this into 661 at yung n natin is 40. So 661 divided by 40 will give us 16.53. So rounded na po siya into hundreds place. Okay? So that is for that it's all about the mean. Now let's proceed to the median. So ang median naman natin is the score. If the scores in the distribution are listed in order, so take note of this class, listed in order, meaning from largest to smallest or from smallest to largest. So yung mean natin kapag ka naka-order siya is defined as the midpoint of the list. Pag sinabi nating midpoint, yung gitna ng distribution. This is the value which separates the largest 50% of the data values from the lowest 50%. Okay, since yung median natin is nasa gitna, of course, yung value natin will separate the largest 50% at yung nasa baba naman will be another 50% para masabi natin nasa gitna siya talaga. Now, the computation of the median requires scores that can be placed in ranked order. Smallest to larger, pwede rin namang to largest to smallest. And they are measured on an ordinal, interval, or ratio scale. Okay? So, doon sa mean kanina, interval or ratio scale lang. Pero dito sa median, naidagdag natin yung ordinal scale. Usually, the median can be found by a simple counting procedure. First, kapag ka-odd number yung scores natin, list the values in order and the median is the middle score in the list. Okay? Pag sinabi nating odd number, ito yung 1, 3, 5, 7, 9, etc. Paano naman kapag ka-even? Pag even yung number of scores natin, of course, we just have to list the values in order again, and the median is halfway between the middle two scores. So kukunin natin yung dalawang two middle scores at kukunin natin yung halfway nun. Paano natin kukunin yung halfway? By just getting the mean of these two middle scores. Now let's have an example. Find the median of the following set of data. So as you notice here, we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. So meron tayong 9 number of scores and 9 is an odd number. So given na or makikita na natin dyan mismo yung median kasi odd number siya. So kailangan natin gawin is to arrange this data into smallest to largest. Okay, so the smallest is 24, so arrange lang natin. Okay, 24, 29, 32, 32, 35, 36. So ito na yung arrangement ng data in ascending order. So since ang number of scores natin is odd, meron tayong formula n plus 1 divided by 2. So yung n natin dito is 9. Okay, 9 number of scores. 9 plus 1 would be 10 divided by 2 is 5. So meaning, yung pang-fifth, pang-lima na score natin dito sa observation natin in descending order, yun yung magiging median. So by just counting 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, so 35 would be our median. Okay? So madali lang kasi odd number yung scores natin. Next, paano naman if we have an even number of scores? So in this distribution or in this data, we have 2, 4, 6, 8, 10 number of scores. So just the same, i-arrange natin muna yung data natin into ascending order. So the smallest would be 24, the largest would be 57. Ngayon, kapag ka even number yung scores, number of scores natin, ang formula na gagamitin natin ay dalawa. We have n divided by 2 and n divided by 2 plus 1. Or by just simply, pag nakuha natin yung sagot dito, magpa-plus 1 lang tayo. Okay, since ang n natin is 10, then divided by 2, we have 5. Plus 1 tayo, of course, we have 6. So, yung two middle scores natin ay matatagpuan doon sa pang-5 at pang-6 na score. So, we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay, this will be the 5th score and the 6th score is 36. So, we have 35 and 36. So, yung median natin, makikita natin halfway of these two scores. So, paano natin kukunin? So, of course, just by getting the mean of these two scores. Pag sinabi nating mean, again, add the two scores. Then, since we have two scores, then divided by 2. So, 35 plus 36, we have 71. Divided by 2, that's 35.5. So, yung median natin dito is 35.5. Okay? Next, paano naman kapag meron tayong frequency or this type of data? Okay? So, ang gagawin lang natin is, again, we have the cumulative frequency. Anong cumulative frequency? Paano natin kukunin yan? So, again, the number of frequency here is 40. Paano nakuha? You just have to add all these four frequency. Yung cumulative frequency natin, gagawin natin yung less than cumulative frequency. Pag less than, mag-start tayo dun sa pinakamababa, which is 15. Pero ang gagamitin natin is the frequency. So the first step is copy yung first data natin dun sa first row. Okay, so copy 7. So lalagay lang natin yung 7. Next is, i-add natin yung data natin dito sa first row ng CF doon sa susunod na frequency. So that's 7 plus 12 then will give us 19. Same process, 19, i-add natin doon sa 14 will give us 33. And then 33 add to 7 will give us 40. Na para masabi ninyo na tama yung sagot nyo dito sa cumulative frequency, dapat yung last row doon dito sa CF ay same lang dapat siya doon sa summation ng frequency. So since 40 and 40 is the same, then we are sure that the data we have entered here are correct. So, paano kunin yung median nito? Since the number of scores here is 40, at 40 is an even number, then meron tayong formula na n divided by 2. So, we have 40 divided by 2, yung pang 20th. And since this one is even, kukunin din natin yung 21st data. Now, paano kukunin pagka ganito? Nasaan yung pang 20 at 21? So, titignan natin dito sa cumulative frequency. Here, yung 20 matatagpuan natin sa pagitan ng 19 and 33. Yung hangganan ng 19 is 16, at the age of 16. Pagka 20 na siya, pasok na siya dito sa row na to, which is 17. Yung pang 20 na score is age 17 na siya. Okay? And also with the 21, the 21st score would be 17. Okay? So, ang gagawin lang natin is to identify yung 17 and 17 kasi yun yung 20 and 21st natin. 20th and 21st. Okay, yung min natin is 17 plus 17, that's 34 divided by 2 is equal to 17. So, ang median natin is 17. Okay? So, I hope you get it. The median, as a continuation, one advantage of the median is that it is relatively unaffected by extreme scores. Okay? Hindi siya apektado ng extreme scores. Kahit pa mababa yung scores at meron din namang sobrang taas yung scores, hindi naapektuhan yung median. Okay? Unlike doon sa mean. 'Di ba sabi natin kanina kapag naapektuhan yung sum ng mga scores, maapektuhan din yung mean. Another, the median tends to stay in the center, okay, of the distribution even when there are few extreme scores or when the distribution is very skewed. In these situations, the median serves as a good alternative to the mean. Okay, pagkahalimbawa, meron tayong sobrang laking score na napakalayo doon sa susunod na na-score. Okay? At meron din tayong napakababang score. Sobrang layo doon sa susunod na score. Halimbawa, 1 yung lowest, pero yung susunod na score na doon is 89, okay, 95, ganun. So, the best measure to be used, okay, in order to represent the given set of data is the median. Okay? Next, let's proceed to the last measure, which is the mode. The mode is defined as the most frequently occurring category or score in the distribution. Pag sinabi na nating most frequently occurring category, ito yung madalas or maraming nagpapakitang score. Marami siyang frequency. Okay? The mode can be determined for data measured on any scale of measurements. So, lahat ng scale of measurement natin is pwede dito sa mode. Pwedeng nominal, ordinal, interval, or ratio. Unlike doon sa other two measures natin. The primary value of the mode is that it is the only measure of central tendency that can be used for data measured on a nominal scale. Okay, so take note of this. Pagka nasali yung nominal, pwede siya sa mode, pero hindi pwede sa median and mean. Now let's have this example. What is the mode of the following sample data? Okay, saan ba dyan yung yung maraming frequency? Yung naulit-ulit. So we have 32. So 32 has 2 frequencies. So therefore, the mode will be 32. So, ganun lang kasimple ang pagkuha ng mode. Let's have this one. Paano naman pag ganyan yung given? So, you just have to take a look at the highest frequency, and here in the given data, the highest frequency is at age 17 because the frequency is 14. So, the mode then is 17. Okay? Now, let's have the central tendency in the shape of the distribution. Because the mean and the median and the mode are all measuring central tendency, the three measures are often systematically related to each other. And in a normal distribution, the mean, median, and mode, sorry, for this one, this must be mode, will always be equal. Take note, pagka normally distributed or in a normal distribution, lahat ng measures ng central tendency will be equal. Take note of that. Now let's proceed to the properties of mean, median, or mode and mode. First, mean is the most commonly used measure of central tendency. So na-discuss na natin yan kanina. One drawback of the mean or disadvantage is it is heavily influenced by very few very high or very low data values. In these cases, it is more common to use the median score. So na-discuss na rin natin yan kanina. The mean is unique but cannot be found for categorical data or for open-ended frequency distribution. Pag sinabi nating open-ended frequency distribution, ito yung sa group data. Halimbawa, what is your monthly salary? Monthly salary. So meron doon mailalagay na 50,000 and above. Yung interval na 50,000 and above is just an example of an open-ended frequency distribution. Open-ended siya kasi lahat na ng numbers or salary na which is more than 50,000 ay pasok doon sa interval na yun. So pagka meron yun, okay, so hindi pwedeng gamitin yung mean. Okay, kasi nga meron siyang open-ended frequency distribution. Okay. Next, the median does not use all the values, so it is less affected than the mean. Fifth, the median is unique and can be found for open-ended frequency distribution. And number 6, the mode has the advantage that it can be used to measure nominal data, but it's not unique. So there may be more than one mode or none at all.